Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. In today's video we have the brand new Loki patch, which actually seems like to be our Halloween update, which is kind of a shock, to be honest. I thought it was going to be part 2, but it seems like they're treating it as part 2 / Halloween update. His outfit looks really cool, I will say that. We also got some other characters on the banners as well, which we'll have a look at. It seems pretty cool. He's green, which is what we sort of expected. Hell's on the banner, which is kind of odd because, you know, she was a 600 end of month, but it seems like she's now returning to normal banners. You've got Blue Freya as well. This is his first return since his initial release. He is actually solely used for Endura. And you've got Valentine's Day Deanne as well. We'll go over the banner in a second. First we'll have a look at the outfits, which doesn't actually look too bad. They all look quite decent. We'll go through and look at the patch. These are all the bundles, events, no free tickets from the events, catastrophes, Midnight Circus. So this is the normal Halloween story we always seem to get. Nothing too good, I'm not going to lie. Random chance getting a few diamonds, Whack-a-Hawk event, free tickets from the Whack-a-Hawk event. That means there must be another way to get the others. There is an event boss. There's two. You've got the Belmoth and the OG Demon. These are like some weaker variations of them. What I've also noticed, there's no free character. At least at the moment. Normally they'd like to do a free character during Halloween, but maybe they decided they don't need to do that. This card set I think is an old card set. Rerun, yeah, it's a card rerun. So this is an old card set which in Knighthood Boss increases allies of basic stats. There you can see. Increases basic stats. PvP win event, nothing really that impactful. Thor and Escanor's outfits come back. You've got all of these ones as well. All of these are only sets only, so you have to purchase them with cash. You can't purchase them with diamonds. That is Thor, the ultimate one, so that is UI Escanor. OG Hell, this is not the new Hell, this is OG Hell. Tyr, which is red and green Tyr, and Demon King, which is the old Demon King, not any of the new characters. These ones can be purchased with 20 diamonds, so you've got the Liz Nunn one, which is the one I've got. You've then got a bunch of other outfits, so Barn, Slater, King, Deanne, Helbram. There's a few others there. Gowther and Margaret, and then you've got the dogs as well, which can actually be purchased with diamonds. These only used to be cash, so they initially on release were diamonds, then they went to cash only, now they're back to diamonds again, which is pretty cool. But that seems to be it. Patrol missions added. Oh yeah, so they added a new patrol mission solely because it's a new character. And now I have to look at the banner itself and Loki. Oh, by the way, I will say his design looks really nice. I do like this. It is very... It's a lot more detailed than the one in the story, which is why I like it. It's also not the Berserk Loki as well, which is sort of what I was expecting. He is a race of a giant, like we initially assumed. And he does a lot. Like a lot. Oh my god. It's also got some special skills as well, which we can see. So first we'll go over the skills. We'll go over the passive. For each applicable ally participating in battle, their base stats increase by 6% and their damage taken is or the damage dealt is increased by 15%. Okay, that's pretty good. Applicable allies are Giants and Ragnarok. Applies 1 king, 1 queen, or a jack on applicable allies at the start of the battle. Taking damage from a skill during the enemy's turn changes the effect. That's pretty cool. It's a very unique thing. If 2 or more allies have the same effect, an additional effect is applied for 1 turn. That's also, once again, kind of cool because it means, you know, it's a luck which effect you get, but if 2 of them seem to roll the same effect, you get an additional turn and another buff, which is pretty cool. King is a 15% basic stat boost, and the additional effect is a 10% all stat boost. That's really cool. I do like this. This is actually really cool. Queen is max HP increased by 10%, damage taken decreased by 30%, and an additional, if 2 of them have Queen, you get a 60% damage cap for those 2 characters. And then attack related stats increased by 10%, and then the additional effect is an additional 20% attack. If 3 or more applicable allies have the same King, Jack, King, Queen, or Jack at the start of the ally's turn, the hero gains Joker effect for 1 turn, increases skill ranks, and increases damage dealt by 200%. I'm not gonna lie, that is very mediocre. I know it is obtainable, you know, getting 3 of the same, it's 33% chance that they all get the same, 33, 33, 33, so it's not the highest of chances, but I do like it. Once again, there are some problems I already see. With the kit, of course, not including this bit, increase the hero's damage dealt by single target skills by 30% for each buff applied to the enemies. That is, once again, another really odd one, because that does require the enemies to have buffs, which is sort of not something you would expect. The damage increase is pretty crazy, so at max buffs he gets 150% damage increase, which is pretty good. Bear in mind with this passive as well, let's say 3-man up, that's 45% basic, not basic stats, damage dealt increase, and then additional 18% basic stats. I immediately see problems with this kit is this bit here, and once again, it is not a guarantee that you get the stuff you want. You know, you may desperately need 2 queens, right, for a round because your team's about to get nuked. No, you don't get 2 queens. I would have loved to see like debuff immunity as one of them instead. Or it's like, even if it's like an additional effect, I think debuff immunity would be quite handy in today's meta, whether it's against like Brynhild or Song or demons. It is just a general effect that would be very good and very handy. Of course, once again, he works everywhere, so you can use him in Demonic Beast and all that kind of stuff as well. So he has actually a kind of odd skill. Once again, it does seem like a lot of these skills are affected by what he has, but it's kind of cool. It does make him very unique. So the first one inflicts illusion damage equal to 500% attack on one enemy, removes 1 ult gauge from the enemy's ultimate move gauge, and deletes 2 skills at random. I'm pretty sure this is just the Nanashi single target, but just really juiced up. 3 times pierce rate, damage dealt 50% for each king, queen, or jack on allies. That's pretty good. Bear in mind, you know, you got 4 allies. You're guaranteed to have 3 effects, which is pretty cool. Delete random moves, and then deletes ult gauge. Yeah, we know that. Inflicts ethereal damage equal to 400% attack on all enemies, so it's an AoE skill. 2 times crit chance, 2 times crit damage, and increase damage dealt by 100% when the hero has king, queen, or jack, which I'm pretty sure is guaranteed. Because if we look at here, he only gets the Joker buff when let's say applicable allies have the same, when all 3 applicable allies have the same thing, but it doesn't state that he cannot get his own buffs. So he can get his own buffs as well, not just his allies. So it means that move is always going to do 100% more damage. It's also got 2 times crit chance, and it's also got 2 times crit damage, which is pretty broken. Ultimate skill, okay, that's kind of odd. He's got max HP. Gains Joker for 2 turns, which is pretty cool. I do like that. That is actually pretty cool. Then inflicts damage equal to 40% of the hero's max HP and deletes. Okay, so this is Gotha's ultimate, but they've just put the Joker effect at the top. This is like Festival Gotha's, OG Festival Gotha's. And then you see it doesn't really scale. Oh, no, it does. Oh, that's crazy. Oh my god, yeah, you desperately need him 2-6. So at 1-6, you're going to get 100% damage increase, but at 2-6, you get 200%. That is a 2 times change. Of course, once again, that's probably trying to get people to summon, but also that ultimate damage is going to be absolutely horrendous. It is on all enemies, but still, 8% is nothing. Like, you're just going to tickle them, which is quite bad. Even with the 100% damage increase, it's still not going to do too much. 200%, like 40% with 200% damage increase and like everything else caked on his passive is probably actually pretty good. But yeah, I don't know. Seeing that puts me off quite a bit. The banner itself is mid. I'm gonna say it. Like, if you take off this top 4 characters here, you don't want any of these. Realistically, you're not going to want any of these. You know, she's been free many a times. Gotha's been free before. Slater is not free. It's actually one of those rarer characters to see on banners, but once again, he's been out for quite a while. She's been free. She's been free. He's been free. You know, Blue Droll. Why? Are you hinting he's getting an LR next? I would like that. That would be pretty cool. And Loki will not be added to regular draws because he's a Halloween character. Wow, definitely not an excuse to not add the new Ragnarok hero to the draws. But yeah, the update itself seems pretty good. It seems okay. We got 1 free multi, which is standard stuff, to be honest. Is he going to be worth summoning for? Honestly, I'm not too sure. The damage increase is pretty nice. You max that with Skuld here, which you can barely see. You can see these here. You know, you get 15% damage reduction per character. With Loki, you get a 15% damage increase per character. So, you know, it's actually pretty good, and they work pretty well together. But I do feel like there's a slight disconnect, more or less, with that ultimate scaling. I thought, oh, you know, his ultimate's actually pretty good. You know, it's going to be pretty like free-to-play scaling here. But no, it's a bad ultimate itself. The effect is the Joker effect, getting that really good, but the actual effect of the skill is useless. It does delete all skills immediately, even at like, let's just say 1-6. Or at least I'm guessing it does that, because it doesn't say here. It deletes like 2 cards, sort of like Gotha's ultimate. But yeah, the banner itself isn't the worst. Once again, just hopefully you get in with the free multi. And we know our next banner will be on the 22nd, because this does not say the 29th, which is what it would say, because they're not going to go 2 weeks without a banner. So this has confirmed that our next banner will be on the 22nd of October and should be a collab, I think. I'm not too sure personally. But he looks pretty cool. I like his design. I like how unique his passive is, but as a character, do I think he'll perform well? Only time will tell, and sadly, you have to give him a test out before we can really find out. But anyway, hopefully you pull him in your free multi, and yeah, then you can start saving or continue summoning on whatever character you want to summon. Anyway, goodbye, thank you for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.